Hey, welcome to the Runaways podcast. My name is Cody. We are back for another week. Most of us have two functioning eyes. One of us only has one functioning eye because right before the podcast, someone decided to get an eyelash in it and
No, it was
water in
worse.
it and soap in it.
Yeah, I got soap in it, and then in trying to get the soap out, I got an eyelash in. I'm full committed to playing Pirate Heroes right now. Like, I need to find an eye patch. It's horrendous. Just don't. This is an audio only podcast today. Like, just don't look. Just second monitor
Don't
it,
look.
minimize it. Like, just don't. I'm I'm just not a human today.
Well, it might still be the off season for FAB, but we did get some information. We got a dev talk. I thought we were having a dev talk in October, only a couple months late, but at least we did get a dev talk, so that was nice. And next week we are going to have a ban list, so that's going to be pretty cool to see. So at least we get some changes there. We did want to spend some time talk about the dev talk before we get to that. Noah, how has your week in FAB been, or your week in general? Your maybe a FAB vacation? I don't know what you've done. What have you been doing other than playing TFT?
We need to have a classic segment of Cody looks at Noah's Discord activity to see what he's been up to.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
You are under my messages in Discord. You're always at the top because like we communicate so often.
Yeah.
And so it's always just showing me what you're doing at all times. Like it's just like, just so you know, Noah's doing this right now. And I'm like, thanks, Discord. I appreciate that.
For me, it's you with Poker Stars.
Yeah. I gotta change it to Noah's going 8th. This is my first time I've ever played TFTs with this new set, so I've watched like YouTube videos and streams of it before, but I've never actually played until now.
Oh, it's your first time? Yeah. No wonder you're so addicted.
Of course,
to it.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you can't get off that. Oh.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. I'd been putting it off for so long. It's like set 16 now, I think. I'd put it off this long, and finally I was swindled into downloading the League client. Like I literally had not even downloaded the League client on any of my computers. I downloaded it. I've been just like playing it so much. I don't know. I really enjoy playing other games. I basically give every other game a shot, and if I like it, then I usually go like full ham and invest a lot into it. So that's why it's a little bit risky for me to do something that's free and addicting. There's basically no barrier.
Free?
It's free, completely free.
Oh, I might join you on this.
We have another person being swindled. Okay, actually, after this podcast, we were gonna have like an 8-man like pod because we have 8 of us like in our local area who are all playing. So we're gonna do like an in-house tournament thing. So you can hop in.
I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, or you can watch. Yeah, you can learn, and all of us will be raging. It's fun. So yeah, this is what I've been doing, just playing TFT. But in Fab news, I've also been playing Lyeth. I think I mentioned this a bit last week that I was interested in the deck.
Guardian pilled.
Yeah. I really am just an open book. I start playing Oldham and Sage. I'm like, wow, Guardian is great. I'm playing Starvo and Living Legend. I'm like, yeah, this whole Guardian mechanic is so cool. Okay, let me play Lyeth. It's a Guardian with swag. Like you get to do like crazy plays. You get to play your whole hand out. You get to tell your opponent you're thinking because you could like play a bunch of cards on their turn. You have to play like 7-card hands. It's so nice. So yeah, I've been enjoying playing Lyeth, and it really, I got to play it for the first time in person last night actually, and you really get to feel the whole reviled aspect of it playing it in person, where your opponent's just like, okay, when do I get to play the game? And you're like, no, you don't get to play the game. So it's been a lot of fun playing it. There's always a chance I audible back to KO before Seattle, but for right now, it looks like I'm going to be playing Lyeth just because I've been enjoying it a lot.
That would be a big turn of events if you brought Lyeth to Seattle.
Why not?
No Funny Hat,
which is this weekend, right?
It's this weekend. Yeah, it's in 3 days after recording this. Yeah.
You can't play that. No Funny Hat.
No, but I get 3 funny hats in my deck. I get to arsenal my funny hat, and it's even funnier because you can do it whenever. You don't have to block it. Oh, it's awesome. The best I had, one of my favorite plays is like my opponent does like some attack with go again, leaving 2 cards back, and I just like leave them hanging them twice, and then they just can't do anything. They like lose a card. Yeah, it's very nice.
That's ridiculous. That's stupid. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, like stacking 2 of them in one turn is like backbreaking.
No, Lyeth is fun. It's rather complicated to play correctly. And I'm just hoping he gets more cards, or that whole type of like Reviled and everything gets more cards, maybe in the next set or two, so that we can flesh out some more type of builds with Lyeth.
He's definitely poised for success in terms of having like clear, strong blues, as well as some like very good payoffs. He's just missing a bit of that like glue where you need something to allow you to just like play on normal turns. Like you have like the villainous pose, you have the 3 for 5 auras. They're fine, but they're not nearly as powerful as like the majestics and some of the blues.
Yeah, he's quite often good at getting the first spike,
Yeah.
and then like it's like in the whole game kind of hinges on like how you recover from the first spike.
Mhm.
Like you do the big giant spike of damage, and it's like if you're able to like keep it going a little bit, or at least do something threatening, reset up, and then go again, then you can probably win the game. The games where you just don't open auras to spike is like those are like horrendous to play.
Yeah. Yeah. The worst games I think so far of when you don't see auras early, or you just draw a bunch of the 3 cost suspense auras and like 1 or 0 blues, and then you can't block. You lost all the damage in your deck. It's just, yeah, it's not very good.
Yeah.
But whatever, you got like 5 to 6 cards to work with, so surely you can figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I'm
extra
just
deck
hoping
velocity, I
with a
imagine,
couple
helps
new
with that.
changes.
Yeah.
Yep. Fino, what have you been up to, Fab related? I saw you were streaming. Are you almost through all of Worlds?
When my eyes worked, we finished all of the world stream. We just finished that up, like yesterday, 2 days ago. Man, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I'm so in shambles right now. Yeah, we finished that up. Pretty interesting watching all the games. Really enjoyed that. Really also made me reflect on just the quality of our casting and overall coverage in Flesh and Blood, because I've been like kind of bouncing back and forth watching Fab Worlds and the Magic Worlds, which was like going on live at the same time. And not that it's bad for Magic coverage, but it really opened my eyes to just how good Fab coverage is. I was having like a really hard time following what was going on in the Magic coverage. And like I'm someone that used to play Magic for a very long time. And I've been out of the loop of Magic for a while. So I went back to watch and I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on. Like they're not explaining what's happening. The like on-screen visuals aren't really helping me parse out what's happening. I'm watching one of the guys combo off, and I have no idea what he's even looking for, what his win condition is. The opponent eventually scoops, and I'm like, I have no idea what just happened here. Whereas like the Fab coverage, all of their visuals are so good for following what's going on, and the casters do such a good job of just like explaining what's happening during the game. So it's really nice, like kind of watching them back to back and kind of comparing the differences between them. Um, the casters and Savage Feats have done such an amazing job with the whole casting and everything. Other than that, I've just been playing a bunch of Final Fantasy. I've been prepping. Of course. Like it's downtime. It's time to play Final Fantasy. I'm playing a bunch of 14, and I'm in the middle of playing 7 Remake right now because that went on sale for the like Steam Thanksgiving sale or whatever it's called. So I've been enjoying that. About to move on to Rebirth. I'm like literally standing in front of the final boss in Remake right now. I was like, I will do that tomorrow night after the pod.
Perfect. I will second that. The coverage team is phenomenal for Fab. As someone who just got back from a Riftbound event myself this past weekend, I was reminded continually how much nicer it is to play in Fab events than it is to play in Riftbound events currently. From every aspect, like signing up for the event, getting my ticket for the event, getting into the event. I mean, give you an idea, like day one of the events on Friday, the doors don't open till noon. Like, what are we, children? Like we can't start at like 9 or 10 a.m. Like we got to start at noon. So like the first like side event started at 1 p.m. on the Friday, and I was like, what is this? Like what world are we living in? So of course it's like a security screening to get in. There's like a line of 1,200 people. I don't know if you've seen a line of 1,200 people before, but you can't see the end of the line. It goes all the way down. Like it's endless. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Like, why is it such like you can't get in until this time? Why don't we staggering people in? Why don't we do something instead of spending? It was like 2 hours of them just trying to get people into the door. it took so long to keep people in. The side event that was supposed to start at 1:00. They just like started it at 1:00 for the people who showed up, and then they ran another flight of the same side event. It was like the big premiere event for that day. They just ran another one at 3 because it took that long to get everyone in. I'm like, I don't know. This is very poorly done for the first place. And then like there's nothing online, so you have to just sign up in person for everything. The game runs overtime every single round by like 20 to 30 minutes. So rounds are essentially on the shortest rounds are like an hour and a half. And most of the rounds were like an hour 40, some were like an hour 50. It was ridiculous. And so like we start a 1:00 event that is 6 rounds, and we got out at like 11 p.m. It was atrocious for like the first day. It was like the whole time I'm just being reminded of like how smooth it is to go to a Flesh and Blood event, how nice it is to be able to just like go up on my phone and just like sign up for the event anytime that I want, go over. The event starts basically on time all the time. And then there's not like pricing for just doing the event. Like the only people who got tickets for this event were the people who went X2 out of 6 rounds. So like you just get nothing if you don't go X2. I'm like, you know how bad it feels to spend entire day playing in a tournament and get no tickets? Like they didn't give you a single ticket. I'm like, that feels like it was like $50 to play in the event. It's like $50.
Promo?
Get nothing, no promo, no nothing. Like literally you get nothing. It's like, it was like, okay. So that's the only side event you can do that day. So that's how that event works. You go on the next day. The next day is like the big regional qualifier event, right? You don't get anything for the regional qualifier unless you're top 32. There's 1,200 people in this event. You don't get an entry promo. Like you don't get anything. Like it's possible to have like gone to the Riftbound event and left with nothing. Like no tickets, no prize wall stuff, no swag. Like the merch lines would start after the tournament. Like you could go and get in the merch line, but they wouldn't open the shop until after the tournament had started. So you couldn't get merch before, even though there was someone standing at the counter, like ready to like do purchases. They're like, nah, we're not going to open until 10. Your tournament starts at 9:30. So like the merch would sell out. It's just like insane to like be able to go to an event, like a big event like that. You pay for a badge to get in, leave with nothing. Wild. That's not what happened for me, at least. So,
All this is theoretical of what could happen to someone.
But I'm thinking about it like when you go and if you're in the event for like a Flesh and Blood event, you at least get something. And most of the time it's something cool. Like you get like a mat and you get a mat and you get like a cool card or something. But like you leave with something. So you're like, hey, I went to the event, I got this. And that feeling I think is really important. And it was like the first time I think I realized how important that feeling was, because it was like halfway through the event on Saturday and I was holding nothing in my hand from the event. And I was like, I have no cool thing from this event.
What is that better or worse than going to Battle Spirits and the only thing that you leave with is minus like $1,200 or whatever from your bank account buying boxes?
Well, to be fair, I didn't leave with that. I left plus money. So, but yes, at least you like left with product. There was no product to buy. Like there was product to buy, but you had to be one of the first like 10 people in the door because the product sold out in 4 seconds. So at least we left with product.
Should explain that very slightly. For the Battle Spirits event, you had to it was like a release event, so you had to buy boxes from them to play in their event. And so most people just bought like the max quantity. It was like $1,200 or something like that. So everyone just like dropped an obscene amount of money just buying product.
Yep. But I ended up playing in the event. The event on day 1 started at 9:30. It ended at like 10 p.m.
Nice.
It was 9 rounds. That was pretty long. It was cut to top 64. And then top 64 was a normal like playoffs essentially, but it was 1,200 people. It's been a very long time since I played in a 1,200 person event. It is vastly different than playing in like a smaller Flesh and Blood event, but it ended up being fine. I did pretty well. I top 64. I ended up being the #1 victor in the room there and got like a super special promo. a 1 of 1 in the world promo, which was a pretty cool experience. Got interviewed a bunch. Riot went and took headshots and stuff. So that like back end stuff was like pretty cool. It was cool to go back. You see like all the Riot stuff set up, and they're like they have headshots of all their other people. Like they're giving you examples of how you compose and stuff. It was like cool. Like it's all like behind the scenes stuff, but it was cool to see. They did like a bunch of interviews with people and stuff that they're gonna like. So just so they have all the footage. But I left the whole event, and my first thought was, man, does Flesh and Blood run a good event? Like even like desired promos were just on the prize wall, and you had to like line up to get them. And in the way Flesh and Blood does it is the super desired promos are just an event that you like sign up for, and everyone in the event gets it. And like that's such a better way to do it, and a better way to make money for your stuff. I just left with a new appreciation of the OP structure. And people there were like, man, this is a great OP structure. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what you're what you're missing. Just come to Fab. It's so smooth. Like we run like 10 minutes over, and people are like, oh God, this is so terrible. The clock would just say plus 40 every round that we're playing at the event.
Remember that one round at oh God, was it Japan or Barcelona or whatever?
No, it was Amsterdam.
Like, it was just like an hour and a half over, and everyone was malding, but that's like such an outlier. But that was pretty funny.
It happened like one time.
Yeah, we talked about something from like almost 2 years ago.
Yeah. Everyone's like, what's going on? But
so I do hope at some point they get it together. Yeah. I expect at one point Riftbound will get it together, because they have a lot of money behind them. It's a pretty big company. They'll figure it out. But for a first event, it was rough. We'll say that. Ultimately had fun. I will be going, unfortunately, to another Riftbound event this weekend. I kind of like don't want to go, but everything's paid for, so I'm just kind of stuck at going now. I found out it's like the PPG one, and I found out that I have been bamboozled. It's supposed to be they advertised a 5K, 10K, 5K. So 5K Friday, 10K Saturday, 5K Sunday. But the Saturday or the Friday and the Sunday 5Ks are prize wall tickets. It's not a 5K.
You get 5,000 tickets?
No, you just they just give you an arbitrary amount of tickets. And I'm like, how are you making this? It just says 5K on it. And then like really small print down here is like in pricing. And like, oh my God, screw off, man.
I almost went to that one.
I've been scammed.
I almost went to that one. I'm glad I didn't get bamboozled.
I've been bamboozled, but everything's paid for. The flight's paid for. Everything's paid for. I'm like, I guess I got to go now. So we'll see what's on that prize wall that makes it worth so much. But
true.
I don't know. We don't deal with that.
What if they just pin like $100 bills up there, and they say it's like some amount of tickets?
Yeah.
Get around like
they put those.
They're just like, yeah.
They put those 1 of 1 tokens on the wall.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay. So to wrap this back into some more Flesh and Blood stuff, before we become like a Riot podcast.
Wait,
here.
Can I ask one more question about the event?
Yeah.
Did you talk to people about Fab and like evangelize the game at all? Like, did anybody ask you?
Well, considering like half the people in the top 64 were all Fab people, it didn't need to be done. It was just like people were like, man, it's just all Fab players. Like,
so I'm saying like the sentiment in the room is people knew that it was all Flesh and Blood players.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, everywhere you went, it was just like the top tables were just all Fab players. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Not unexpected IMO.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm always curious about this, of like whether the Fab players are just like, is it the chicken or the egg? Like, did we start playing Fab because we wanted to play like a more skillful game and like better people are drawn to it, or does Fab like create better players?
I think it makes better players.
Like it makes you better at all card games if you play Fab enough. That's the answer I want to believe in.
I think it tests you a lot. Like, I know anecdotally, like I've gotten way better at playing card games since playing Fab. Like, I was a scrub before Fab. Chat can argue whether or not I'm still a scrub, but
yeah. I am also the chat, but it's okay.
I do think it's probably a little of both. You've probably it attracts good players and then makes you better.
Okay, nice.
Is how I would see it, because I think this is actually an interesting topic if you've played multiple card games. And it was something that I didn't realize until I started playing Riftbound. was that so most card games are mappable. And so for people who might not know what I mean by mappable is like you can determine what your opponent should do or would do on each given turn because they have a climbing resource cycle. So it'd be like turn 1 they have 1 resource, so their best play is this or this, and then turn 2 is this resource, so it's this or this, and then you can kind of like when you're play the game in your head where you can just kind of be like, okay, on turn 1 if they play this, then I would want to make sure I have this to counter that, and on turn 2 if they do this play, then I want to make sure I have this to counter that, etc. And you can do that for the whole turn. You cannot do this in FAB. It's impossible. You cannot map FAB because it is a completely dynamic game when you're playing it on how it opens. It is a macro focused game in all aspects compared to other games because you have to just look at how does my deck line up against this deck? What are the hands that I'm looking for? What am I looking to try and stop my opponent from doing? It's not like a game that you can sit down and play in your head. And this is the first game in a long time where I can do that for the most part. The thing I really like about Riftbound is that it starts linear, but then the amount of decision points that you can make start branching off into so many directions that you stop being able to map it. But what I found was I think what helped a lot of Flesh and Blood players is we were able to take our intrinsic value that we understand and then apply it to a mappable game. And eventually we got in so many decisions that you're just used to being in waters where you can't map what's happening. It's like when you're playing chess, it's like it's pretty easy to go through an opening sequence, but once you get out of the opening sequence, that's where the real skill happens. But you get out of the opening sequence in Riftbound pretty quickly, and then once you do that, it's like that's when you have to adapt on the fly of what could actually happen. And I think Flesh and Blood specifically trains that skill all the time because you're always adapting to what could possibly be happening because there's no way to map turns.
That was fabulous. Wow, thank you so much. I feel like I'm the audience now, dude. I learned a lot. I agree with everything you said.
I've been putting a lot of thought into this
Yeah,
because like it's something I've been doing. It's because it was weird when I practice FAB. I feel like I really need to play FAB games.
Yeah.
Like it's really important for you to play the games. And when I was practicing for Riftbound, I needed to play the game like twice. And then I just like sat around in my head and just went through all the plays. And I could just like play the game while I was like in the shower.
Mhm.
Like, and it was just like, or all I needed to do was record a couple of things and then be like, okay, okay, play this here. If I had mulligan for that, I can do that here, this here. You can't do that in FAB. You have to play the games to see the permutations because everything's going to be so different. You need to see like how often is this amount of pressure that they're giving me at this point in the game realistic, and what do I need to do in a macro cycle to be able to adjust to that for my deck wise. It's like, I think very specifically about like the closest we get to mapping turns is like the KO into Syndra going second, where you're just like I'm just going first, where like I'm just going to helmet on turn 2 to stop their turn, set my arsenal and do a big push. Like that's as like close to mapping out like a FAB game as you can possibly get, and that feels like a special thing. Like if you think about it, it's like, oh, that's a special thing that we have this like little plan that you can do immediately that the game kind of plays out the same way each time. And then like that's like every game in Riftbound and to like turn 3, and then it goes crazy.
I think it's mainly because of the fact in Flesh and Blood you can block with cards and attack with them. I think that's basically the reason why. Just like if you drop a hand of cards and you're doing like solitaire style in FAB, you drop cards that would be more valuable if used on defense often, but there's no way for you to simulate what your opponent's doing to say, is it actually profitable to use this on defense versus offense? That's where you're saying like you have to actually play the game. Whereas in Riftbound, like you're saying, like you draw a card that's like a buff on one of your units, like you play the buff on the unit. If they respond to your thing, then you buff it in response and get out of some lethal threshold. That's all the card is ever going to do. So you just like don't have to worry about like if they do something weird, either the buff is going to sit in your hand or you're going to play it in response to their thing and get value out of it. It's like the only modes.
Yep. So I wasn't surprised to see how well the FAB community did in general at the tournament, because we got to take this like very specialized skill and then apply it into where the game becomes the most chaotic. Which was like a really cool test. It would just be like, oh, I've never seen this before, but I'm sure I can work through it because it felt comfortable enough. Like you don't get lost.
You're making me want to play this game.
Maybe I did the opposite. I sold it the wrong direction.
How was the I'm gonna keep asking more questions. Whatever. Like I'm curious. I'm
Yeah.
sure people are curious about this because it's like a pretty like exclusive thing for being able to go to like the first tournament. How did you feel it compared in terms of the like sharkiness, I would say, of the actual tournament? Because I know there was a lot of discussion beforehand about how triggers are going to be enforced like extremely stringently.
Yeah, so there was a lot of sharking that was happening, at least from story wise. I did not have to shark anyone, and no one had to shark me. We all did a very good job of remembering our triggers in every single game that I played. So from my side, I thought I was going to have to shark because that's just how the game is written on paper. I was, I think I said this before, but I was hoping that Riot would step back and be like, hey, a lot of people's first game. Maybe we don't want to make it a shark fest, but they doubled down. They like removed some of the requirements. They said, okay, some of these triggers are ambiguous. They just happen when they come into play, or they happen when you play something else. You don't really need to reference them until they become necessary to the game. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then they doubled down on the fact that your battlefield, you must trigger the battlefield in the right phase at the beginning of the game. And if you go past that, you miss the trigger. So they reinforced, doubled down on that when people were hoping they're going to just say, you just get it, man. You start in game with it. You can't miss it. You just get the thing. And they didn't. They doubled down on that, which ended up happening in top 8, by the way, which is a pretty funny story. But a guy missed his battlefield trigger in top 8, probably, and basically cost him the game. So that's the thing that happened. And I heard a lot of sharkiness that happened. I didn't personally see any of it have to happen, but I heard stories about it. I think, again, they should go back to tuning it down for the amount of sharking that was happening. But I just remembered all my triggers, so I didn't really have that issue.
Very good. Yes, you did not partake in the collective skill issue of forgetting the trigger. It's good.
Nope. And I had nobody who was like, oh, I missed this trigger. Can I have this? I just, as far as I'm aware, I don't think any of my opponents missed a trigger.
Very good.
So, or unless we both missed one of their triggers, but I know that I hit every single one of my triggers because that was what I was focused on the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move into talking about the competitor to Riftbound, the better game, Flesh and Blood.
I'm gonna steal your segue then. I'm stealing your segue then. The only thing that you have mentioned so far about it, Cody, was this seemed to be the October dev talk that we were, supposed to be given. I have 2 thoughts on that. One, I don't actually really mind that it took a bit longer for this to come out. Like, whatever, shit happens, people get busy, it's hard to plan these things out. I don't really fault them for it being delayed. I'm gonna meme on them, of course, because of what that tweet was. Like, if you guys saw the tweet, like, of course I'm gonna meme on that. I don't actually care. It's whatever. You guys make a great game. What I will say, though, is this dev talk did not actually address the issues that I wanted it to address. It covered some of the things that I did want to hear them talk about, like all the format things, because a lot of this was talking about like the future of formats in the game, which is, I want to know about this. But what I really wanted to hear, and what that original tweet that said the October thing was in reference to, was about the future of a lot of OP related things. This originally was in reference to the whole you can't play more pro quests thing if you win. And we just needed to like have a dev talk talking about their philosophy behind a lot of their OP decisions moving forward. Like, all the ban list stuff that's happened, or the lack thereof, or the I guess that's the wrong way to put it, but the not the ban list so much as the like not scheduling events so that way we can get the player data, and that whole philosophy behind that. It was really just like I needed to hear them address OP related things, and none of that was really addressed in this. So I at least want to point that out, where like I still would like to see a dev talk talking about that. This did not alleviate my concerns in those areas.
I mean, I don't disagree. I did like, just we could talk about it. Blitz is dead. That's kind of what we expected. It was cool that they turned it into like a singleton format, and there'll be like one tournament a year where it is shown like it is like a competitive format and basically everything is unbanned. Cool, makes sense. Cool, common format. We'll probably never hear about it again outside that one tournament a year. League of Legends. They living legend. That's all I've heard. Living Legend, they said, was a great success for Worlds. They were very happy with it, and ultimately, I don't know. I think it was fine. It's like survivorship bias. If you had a
we
good
can go
run,
into
it
opinions.
was great. If you
Go
did,
Yeah,
through what
let's do the summary first. Yeah, we put the
Yeah,
color in
I
later.
I need to yap
Let me-
about all of this.
okay. Let me finish the summary. LL was a great success for Worlds. It gave great games. That is what they said. Even if they were a little bit more volatile. However, it is not retired. It is going on the back burner for a little while. While they kind of don't have the man coverage to manage it, it'll also be put into that one tournament a year where Blitz is going to be. Sage is like the new like specialty format. However, the format is going to be highly supported. They want everyone to know that it's not just like a one and done, and that the format really doesn't start until Copium comes out. So that will be like the start of the format. It wasn't supposed to come out until the set was released, but people were just clamoring for it so much that they had to throw it out there. That, for the most part, is all of the announcements. I might have missed a fact or two in there, but I think that's basically everything. They're very excited that CC is one. Well, they said CC is just expensive. They did not say any relief to that expense. They just mentioned that CC was expensive, but Silver Age is $20. So you can go win a calling apparently
$20 ticket.
with the $20 deck.
Okay, wait.
So,
Can I say two things about this first? Okay, one thing is also they talked about draft, so Dalton doesn't have to.
draft will come back.
Yeah, Dalton doesn't have to quit. They're gonna play draft. It's good.
The next 4 sets are all draft and they're bangers. That's what they said.
Of course, yeah, they have to be bangers. How could they not be?
Yeah. Oh, and set 20 is like the god set of all time. They've been shelving a bunch of things. It's a huge celebration. Everyone's going to go crazy for it. It's the best set they've ever released. There's a bunch of special stuff that's going to happen. We'll see it when it comes out.
Okay. The one thing about the whole $20 ticket concept, I feel like they double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down on the fact that these decks are lit. Like you can just show up with this deck and win. So like
you can win a pro tour with this deck. Go.
Can you imagine?
I kind of want to make that a challenge.
Suck? Yeah, like just like imagine if they're bad. I'm sure they'll be fine, but it just like I don't think as a company it makes sense to advertise it that heavily of like you can make 0 changes and top an event, because why would you put yourself under that kind of pressure? Like what if the meta evolves and then this like deck doesn't make any sense because like there's a bonds type interaction you just didn't see. Like the card pool, while small in that it doesn't have majestics and legendaries, like there's still a lot of cards you can play. I'm sure there's interactions that they didn't foresee, and then there's no way all of these 20, because there's supposed to be 20 of these decks, right? There's no way we're going to have a tournament where like all 20 of these decks are equally likely to win. Surely there are some that are going to be better than others, if not like all of them not.
No. You can win the tournament with any of these 20 decks.
We're going to have like top 32 is going to be like literally 21 of. Like, come on, let's be real. It's trolling.
I kind of want to do that as a challenge for content, playing one of these at a calling or something.
Go to a call.
Yeah,
I can only play one of
first,
these decks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do have to attend the tournament to play in the tournament. It is fun.
That reminded me. You can only vote on Silver Age if you've played in a Silver Age event. That is what they said.
That's good.
Yeah.
Message Vera to sell your account. Okay, there's one other thing that was missed from there, which it was kind of like a innocuous thing. Wasn't like an announcement or anything. It was more of a philosophy thing that I want to touch on before we jump into all the bullet points. He mentioned like 2 or 3 times during it, talking about displacing players across too many formats. And I think it's kind of worth talking about that, and I want to push back against that a little bit. This is something that I have mentioned a lot on stream, and I'm pretty sure during podcasts in the past, where I don't really agree with this philosophy. The idea is that if you make too many formats, you stretch your player base thin across all the different formats, and it hurts the viability of each of the formats because you're not consolidating your player base into the one thing, creating popularity of it. And while I would agree with some of the niche formats, that's probably true, I would push back against that I think it is important to have other venues to play the game, because you know, you see this in Magic. I always make the Magic example. If Standard is bad, I'll go play Modern. If Modern sucks, I'll go Draft. I don't like this draft set, I can go play Commander. There's a million ways to engage with a hobby, and FAB just doesn't have that. Like, if Classic Constructed sucks and I'm bored of the format, what do? I guess now I can play Sage, but then if I don't want to play that, that's it. My entirety of my options is those two formats, and that's assuming there's even events being run at the moment for both of those formats. There might not be. So
I understand what you're saying, but there's just the game's too small, I think, to actually give you that option. It's just like we get 500 people at a calling. It's like that's not the game's too small to then have enough to be able to engage on all 4 different accesses, right?
It doesn't have to be all calling level. Like, this can be you having other, you know, skirmish ProQuest style events that are supporting other formats, saying, hey, there's 3 different formats for you to engage with on a yearly basis on a local level. It doesn't all have to be tiered things.
But I think LSS really enjoys curation of seasons. And so having this take place at some point during the year, I think that the schedule is already like very full. How many weekends in a year are there really where there's not something you can do? You know what I mean? Like,
Just
would
December.
this be taking the place of,
Yeah.
there's maybe like 1 month out of a year where there's not something to do. And even in December, there's still like, if you wanted to travel around the world, there's still tournaments that are being held. So I guess, you know, maybe what you're saying is just like every month there should be some sort of local level thing of a format. And some months that'll just be a format no one cares about. Like at the start, no one's going to care about these like alternate formats, right?
But people will care just because of the pricing at some point. Like,
but then they have to make like curation, they have to do effort into it. And if the pricing is good, then we have an LL situation. If the pricing is good, we have LL at World situation where everybody complains and you end up playing it begrudgingly.
I mean, we can get into the enjoyment of LL in a minute because I don't want to sidetrack.
No, I'm not talking about LL in specific. I'm just talking about in general of like having to learn a format that isn't something that's carefully curated by the company. It's more just like an afterthought of, oh, maybe people will find this interesting.
But you're assuming it's not carefully curated. I'm not saying add a format and then ignore it like Blitz. Like, God, what was it you said the other week about Savage Sash? Where it's like, this is a meme that it's legal in the format. Yeah. Like, clearly no one gave a shit.
Hard and cross trap is banned, but Savage Sash is legal. Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's not, oh, it has to be the extreme of, well, 3 formats, I guess one of them we just leave in the dirt and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, give it the attention that it needs to be a format and exist in the game. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a tier 4 format.
I think this is like 2028 aspirations, like where their team is big enough to actually support all that. I just don't think they have enough like people to manage more than 2.5 formats.
I mean, in theory, they didn't have to invent an entire new format. They could have just allocated those resources to managing the formats they already had existing. But that's
I think they probably had to invent a new format because Blitz is fundamentally unplayable, and I'm not convinced that Sage is fundamentally playable yet. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that that Copium is going to fix the format. As they said, the format doesn't start until that set comes out. But I am very hesitant that this game is playable at 20 health. I have never seen it work as a real game. But they said in their dev talk, they said, hold on, if you don't like Silver Age how it is right now, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Just wait till Copium comes out. It'll be better. And I say, okay.
When Copium comes out, are we just calling that set Copium now?
I'm just calling that set Copium until they prove me otherwise. If I will call it Compendium when it actually does what they are claiming it does. It is Copium of Wraith until they prove otherwise to me.
I mean, that being said, I think LL is a completely viable format. I think the format was pretty close to being a reasonable format. If they had just done a few more bans, tweaked the format a little bit, I thought the format was perfectly fine and reasonable. And it was like, I would have been fine if this was a mainstay way to engage with the game and is a good, you know, it's, again, it's always the Magic example, but like that's what you would see back in the day for Magic. Like people would play their standard deck, it would rotate out, and then they go, well, where can I play these cards still? And you'd show them a modern deck that they could play with those cards. This is back in the day when there wasn't like egregious power creep in Modern where they're printing sets directly into the format. But you understand what I'm trying to say with that. Like, giving people a way to still play these decks, I think is important. And
I agree, Fino, but no one agrees. No one showed up. Like, I liked playing LL at Worlds. I
But
ultimately enjoyed playing it.
that's a survivorship thing too, of like, yeah, no one showed up
I'm
because
aware.
it sucked ass. Like, well, see, we did a terrible job and no one liked it. I guess no one likes the format. It's like, no, they didn't like it because you did a fucking shitty job managing the format. Like, do a better
I
job
don't-
and people will like it.
LL, well, that's possible. LL's always been a pretty like big underperformer since its inception. Just
But
because
every
a
single
lot of
LL event has been terrible. Like like 8 Starvo, the event, like what do we like? Every single event is a joke, but then they don't do anything. Oh,
What do
we
you
have
mean?
the 8 Starvo event. Let's do some bans, and then never schedule an event ever again after these bans. It's like, what was the point of this? Like, schedule more events
I don't know. I
after
feel
the
like
bans.
you're being subjective about how the results made it legitimate or not legitimate. Like, what about the
Is
World Championship was not legitimate for LL?
can't you argue what the other people are saying is making it not legitimate based on the results? Like, it goes both ways. I'm saying, well, everyone said it sucked and it sucks because it sucks type of thing. But then I'm saying, well, if you put more effort in, it wouldn't necessarily suck, but we won't know until they put that effort in. We
Yeah, I'm
we
just saying
won't
I don't
know the
think there's
reality. I'm saying,
yeah, there's no reason for the effort. Is my take on the matter. That like, who cares? Like, it's not going to be better than CC or Sage, and I would rather them spend more time making those go from 80% to 100 than spend any percentage points allocated towards LL. Because if you're
well,
going to make a year where you put LL on the same level of amount of tournaments, like you're saying, schedule more events, right? Let's imagine a world where we have like um even not on the same playing field. Say we have like 10 CC callings, like 5 Sage, 5 LL, for example, in a year. That's still just like a big ask for anybody who wants to engage with FAB competitively, that you really have to be sharp on all 3 formats if you want to play in like this month, this 2-week period in your country. There's like the tournament is LL. So you have to be sharp on LL. Then 2 weeks later, it's Sage. So you have to be sharp on Sage. You're basically just asking people if they want to engage with Flesh and Blood competitively, which is the majority of the, at least my experience of like people who would go to a calling level tournament, is like a lot of overlap of people. You're just asking them to do too much.
well, the upkeep of those formats in theory shouldn't be super high because they're eternal formats. Like,
But I think
CC is a rotating format where you're going to keep updating the card pool and everything and what heroes are legal in the format. LL should be in reality a fairly stagnant format where, oh, what's changed since the last 3 sets since there's been a calling? Basically nothing. A couple upgrades to a few decks. Like, the meta is still the same. I've been playing these decks for however much time. Like, if you're coming in fresh, like, oh, I got into FAB this year, then yeah, that's daunting. But like, I don't know, that person shouldn't go to that calling then. Like, if you're trying to go to literally every event, I mean, clearly you're willing to put in the effort to learn these formats, but I don't think that's a,
But I'm saying I
a
shouldn't be
reasonable enough
forced to
people.
put in the effort to learn these formats. And I think the trending direction of Flesh and Blood OP is to be inviting to get more people into the game. That's why you see the PQ changes. So I think making a something you're suggesting of having this third format, because they're not going to stop doing Sage or CC, having this third format be on almost an equal pedestal just becomes like too much for a new player to enter and like have to buy all these old cards that are literally only useful in one format, have to learn like years of knowledge.
Well, it also doesn't need to be an equal pedestal. I never said that. It just it should exist so that way when the other formats suck, I have somewhere else I can play. And again, you're going directly to callings. I was saying originally like more local grassrootsy type of stuff of other ways to engage with the hobby because the majority of people aren't going to callings. That's just not the
the
majority
majority
of
of
people.
people aren't going to LL events, period. That's the issue.
But if you make the
Like
carrot
at a
good enough and you make the format good, then people would. This goes back to originally what I said. Like if the format sucks and there's no carrot to make me want to go to this event, yeah, I'm not going to go. And that's what we saw with the battle hardens. Like the carrot wasn't good enough for people to go to the battle hardens and actually play in these because why would I expose my worlds deck right before worlds? Like that's just ridiculous. And I'm playing for what? Basically nothing because it's a battle harden and the prizing at these sucks on a normal day, let alone at a living legend event. Like if you make the carrot good enough, people will go to them because, oh, free tendies, I'm going to go to this, or promos or whatever. And then you actually balance the format. If you like, you're assuming the format's still going to suck. I'm saying balance the format and people will eventually enjoy it because, oh, like, this format isn't ass.
I don't think I've said
Maybe.
anything about the quality or lack thereof. It's more just about the forcing people to play multiple high power, high knowledge ceiling requirement constructed formats.
Here's what I accept. I accept the fact that let's see if they can handle these first two events, these first two formats. Let's see if they can handle CC
Yeah.
and
Fair.
Sage. And then after that, let them work on LL. But let's do
Fair.
these first two first. And then, so I'm okay with them being like, hey, LL's not going away. We're not blitzing it. We just can't handle it right now. We're going to focus on these two. We're going to make them great. And then we'll bring it back in a little bit.
I think that's
And
perfectly
that's
fair.
what it sounded like that they said.
Yeah.
My original pushback comment was on the spreading players too thin, not on their dev resources. I think if the entire conversation is what they can actually allocate resources to, reasonable. You do what you got to do to make the game balanced. I don't know what your staffing issues are like, or staffing, logistics are like.
As a company, you don't want to be like, yo, let's get on this dev talk and tell them we don't got anybody working for us. Like, really, they're just saying it like,
do this.
Yeah, you say it in like the PC way of like, oh yeah, we don't want to spread the players too thin. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that can be a legitimate concern. Like, if all the formats are niche, then you don't get enough players to fire events. And the example they immediately gave was the Battle Hardens not having very many people. And I think that's a good example to point to if you're trying to say, hey, spreading the player base thin is an issue. Like, that's a reasonable area to point at. And my thing is, I think you're looking at the results, not the cause of why that happened. Now, I will say, you're like, you guys are talking about this too. They're putting in a lot of time into balancing this format and everything, and like, clearly they think this is going to be really good. I will say, if it comes out after all this hype and all this clear dev time they've been putting into this and prioritizing this over other things, and it comes out and it's not great and it's poorly balanced, my faith in their ability to balance things is just gone. Like, this has to come out swinging. Otherwise, it's like, what have we been doing? Not balancing other things in the game.
Currently, it is not balanced, and it sucks as a 20 health format, in my opinion. That is how I currently feel about Sage. But again, they said Copium will fix it. So I am just believing what they said, that this format should never existed as it currently is for Sage, and that this next set will resolve all of those issues that we have. So we shall see.
Let's move on to the next part of the docket.
Are either of you guys going to go play in London?
No.
For the, I will not.
I see. Okay.
For the release of Copium.
I can't wait.
Yeah, no. You're going?
It seems like so much fun, dude. Like, you get to literally open Copium and then make a deck with cards from there, like the day of. Yeah. It's like Battle Spirits, like you were saying. I never got to do that, but now I get to do it in a good game. Seems fabulous.
Sure.
So what was next on the docket? Blitz?
Well, Blitz is dead. No one cares about that. Go away.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool hearing. It was cool hearing the backstory. Like, they're. I mean, if you guys haven't listened to the dev talk, you should. Viewers at home or in the car.
That's how I started with the game.
Yeah.
Was Blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't play CC when I first started during the COVID era. It was just like you just had Blitz was all we were playing. I was playing like Kano with attacks at the time, and because the deck was cheap, and we tried to build a Blitz Viserai deck. We saw that it was like $4,000. We said, nah, not as my first deck into the game, and went back to that, and that, like, we built the decks to play in like a webcam game because that's how you played back then, and then eventually moved on to CC. Yeah.
I remember Joe telling me about that deck.
Yeah, I think my first like 3 or 4 armories when I first tried playing FAB were also Blitz, and I remember getting OTK'd by Jacob Shaker on Briar because like I didn't comprehend how like any of the interactions of arcane damage and ball lightning or any of this stuff worked, and I just like exploded, and I was like, wait, I thought I was supposed to not play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. Why am I still playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't really care too much about the leaving of Blitz. There's definitely people who feel some type of way about Blitz going, but hopefully those people can find a new home in Silver Age.
Yeah, I had one comment for those people. I don't care about Blitz. Same the idea of the other two. Like I only played it when I was at the beginning of the game. It was the only option really. So I don't care about Blitz. But I feel like for the people that do care about Blitz, this was not what they wanted to hear. Of not only are we retiring your format, but we're changing your format into singleton no ban list. I feel like that was like, so you're just outright killing the format completely. Not even like, yeah, you guys can still play Blitz for fun at some things, and we'll maybe do something every now and then. No, it's just actually no longer a format, and it's something else that's called Blitz. Like that kind of sucks for the people that actually care about that. But
yeah, they could have definitely been more ginger about it and just like gave a new name to Singleton and then just said Blitz is sunset.
To be fair though, it made me want to play the format more when it comes around once a year. When they're like, "Hey, everything's unbanned, Singleton format, let's go." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna have to give it a shot at that event now."
Yeah, I think they actually did set up a decent amount of hype, at least for you, Cody, for me as well. Of that one tournament that's just like crazy, where it's like for one tournament
like
LL, one tournament Singleton Blitz. I'm like, okay, dude. Like the month before that tournament's gonna be crazy.
Is that gonna be our eternal weekend?
Basically.
Yeah.
Like that's what it sounded like. I'm just like, that's cool. Like that event sounds sweet to do every year.
Yeah, I would like to go to that.
Yeah. Well, then they did their job. Like they made me want to go to an event that I didn't think I would want to go to.
Mhm.
But now I'm like, can't wait. Tell me what it is. What are we playing for?
Yeah.
I'll play the Blitz format. Like,
will Commoner be there?
Yeah.
No, they said Commoner's not a thing.
Commoner's dead. Sages replaced it.
But I'm hoping I can like put that out in the ethos of bring Commoner back in that.
No, why would you bring Commoner back? It was never good.
So I can defend my crown.
There's been 1 million Commoner events since then, man. You won one of like 1,000 tournaments.
I don't think they directly addressed it in this dev talk, but it's been hinted at and talked about. They are definitely not getting rid of the you win a pro quest, you're done. That is staying. They have hinted at and talked about how they put out that survey, and most people agreed that they love it. Okay.
They'll be talking about that in October 2026 dev talk.
Sure. I'll just I'm just saying I'm kind of just fine with it now because I'll just go play another game. Like that. I'm just going to go to my tournament. I'm going to win my tournament. I'm going to go play Rickbound. So there you go. You won, LSS. I guess that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this a bunch. It's kind of like,
but before it was like, I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to like scoop in the finals. Nah, I'm just going to play a different game.
That is a much simpler solution than all this like nonsense of scooping and
Yep. So I will stop engaging with your game after I win one tournament and not support my local scene and leave. Because that seems to be how they want me to play their game. I just think it's ridiculous for a game this small to try and make any of those type of claims. Please do not play my game. Please, blinders on, play the game for 1 week and then go off and do other things.
The only game that I've seen successfully accomplish that, Noah's gonna laugh at this, is Final Fantasy. In 14, the guy that like makes the game was literally like, just go fucking play other games if you're bored about current content. I don't care. You'll come back. Yeah, like
I would respect them more if they said that.
Yeah. He was like, "No, you'll come back. I don't care."
Yeah.
And then we'll even give an example of like a game he's playing. He's like, "Yeah, the new Nier game came out. Go play that instead."
Nice.
I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
They did mention the thing that we talked about before. They think that this format is probably the most balanced format they've ever had. That this is probably what a perfectly balanced format looks like. Is basic in CC. Yep. And they think this meta is great, which I said if you're a dev looking at this meta, you're going to be like, this is a great meta. Playing in the meta is kind of miserable, but it's fine. They from the top end and the bottom end, it looks great. In the middle, like when you're playing it competitively, you're just like, I'm not really playing the game that I like playing. Like this doesn't feel like I'm playing Flesh and Blood, but okay.
Yeah.
Any comments on perfectly balanced?
I agree with your thoughts of if you just look at the meta charts, that's definitely the case. And I agree with it doesn't feel like I'm playing FAB necessarily. It feels like we've talked about this before. It's the most card gamey it's ever felt. I felt more
Yeah.
like I was playing Flesh and Blood during the LL portion of Worlds than I did the CC portion. Like macro game plans and everything.
They messed up. They messed up when they made me play LL again, and I played Zen, and I was like, this is what I've been missing. Like, this is, and I don't like that version of Zen. I think I've said that every time I mention it, but like, I was like, oh, this feels like I'm playing FAB again. Like, I feel like I'm sitting down, and the first thing I think about when I see my opponent's deck is, what is my game plan? What is my macro strategy? What am I trying to build to? What do I need to happen to win this game? Okay, it's Starvo. Let me cut out all of my Art of Wars. I'm going to play a grindy game. I have to resolve all my Chase the Tails in order to win this game. Like, that's my first thought when I'm sitting down and playing that. That is not even close to what I think about in CC anymore. Like, that's just not how CC functions right now. So it was like, I was playing that Zen deck, and I'm like, man, I really miss this part about FAB. You've reminded me what I was a bit missing, and I couldn't verbalize previously. And it was like, it took me to be sitting at the tournament playing LL to realize this is what I miss.
I hope next week after the ban list, when we sit down and talk, we have lots to say about how the ban list will impact the future stuff we're doing. Because like they were very clear that they're going to use the ban list as a tool to make sure that we're having a good time. It's not just
I like
about,
that.
yeah.
I like that they admitted that, like, look, I know you guys are bored. Let's shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it.
I don't think the ban list will address that specific problem. I think it'll freshen things up, but I don't think it'll address the problem of the games feeling kind of because I've been really stewing on what you said like weeks ago, Noah, of it really just being the Arsenal disruption. Whenever I say something like that, you have that look of like, what am I getting outed for?
I go back in my head, I'm like, oh shit, what did I say? Do I regret all the things?
What did I say to him in private that he's going to bring up in public?
Yeah, bro, I don't know.
Like, but like every deck just has Arsenal disruption, and it makes it really hard for you to like plan for things. Like the strategy for so many decks now is just, I'm just not going to Arsenal, which means that you're just always playing the random 4 cards off the top of your deck. So you just can't sculpt things. They're not going to ban all the Arsenal disruption. Like, we're not going to see Conk and Plow or Breaking Point on the ban list. That'd be pretty sweet ban list, though. I will say that. I'd be pretty down for that.
We had the book burning. Now we have the Arsenal destruction burning.
Wait, maybe everyone complaining back in Arcane Rising and Crew were right. The Command & Conquer was broken. I don't know if you guys remember that. Everyone used to bitch about Command & Conquer back in the day. Wait, maybe they were right. Maybe we did print too much Arsenal disruption. All right, don't admit that. Don't admit that. But I can't imagine any of the bans will like actually address that part of the problem. And it's not like these cards are gonna go away. Like Pandora's box is open. We now have a bunch of Arsenal disruption in the game. So
yeah.
Agreed. I'm excited to see what they shake up, though. I'd like a reason to start like brewing around for RTN season.
Yep.
Which is in January.
It's always interesting to me, the difference in like player mentality too, of like the second RTN season was announced maybe like a month and a half, 2 months ago. People are already talking about what they're going to play. But I don't know, I think my approach to the game is very different. I have no idea what's going to happen then. Like there's a ban list. Like we didn't know the contents of the Slippery Armory deck. It's just interesting because I think you're similar to this, Fino, where you're mapping out what you're going to be playing for a long time. Like you pick up the Gravy Bones, and despite how much you moan and complain about how he sucks, you go back to him and like you play Gravy Bones. Like it's going to be your deck for a while.
Yeah, I'm a one trick. Though that being said, I am looking at learning a couple different things during the down season. It's like I'm gonna spend some time on Sage now that I'm done watching Worlds, and then after that, I'm probably gonna try learning something else. I'm like between Kasai or Marlin or something else like that, just like some other deck that's up my alley.
Yeah. It's just interesting to me for people that like do the one trick style of prepping a deck for a season where things may make that deck not the best. I guess it's just like people's different outlook on like what they want to get out of the tournament. Of like they just want to be proficient with their deck or something like that.
Well, you look at all the decks that I've done that with, and all of them typically don't care that much about what the meta turns into, or like my bad matchup is still like a 40-60, and I'm gonna face 1 to 2 an event, so it's like whatever. And then it's all polarizing decks. So all
Yeah,
the
yeah. I was more
illusionists.
just not necessarily talking about you in specific, but just like the general like person who does this. Of I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up all these cards now. I'm gonna like practice and learn this deck like 3 months in advance to prepare for RTN season. Probably they're in the right. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually is probably a good strategy of like get super familiar with your deck a few months out, so that way you make sure like you lock up your invite for Nets. Yeah,
I
okay.
think
I guess all those
illusionist
people
is
are
one
right.
of the
I'm wrong.
classes. No. I think it's more than that. For
Okay.
me, I think it works because illusionist is a class that just like doesn't care about the meta, and there's like so many positives to playing a class like that, and is a one trick. I think a lot of other classes in the game don't lend itself as well to that and are far more sensitive to the meta game. I think if I'm trying to one trick as a class other than illusionist, I'm actually trying to be a two trick. I'm trying to find like a deck to one trick and then a second deck to like soft one trick that attacks the opposite meta of the deck that I'm one tricking. So that way, if this is bad, this has to be good, because the only reason this would be bad would be the reason this would be good. So like, I don't know, I'm playing a deck like Acilio, and what do I not want to see? Maybe a lot of disruption and decks that can race me down. So then maybe I play a deck that's good into disruptive decks that can race me down as my secondary deck. So like, no matter
Yeah.
what, one of these will be good.
I was just thinking actually, it'd be a cool thing if maybe you could start with this on Sage, just getting your fundamentals down. Like Sage could be a pretty nice avenue of like, okay, let's say that the Sage 20 decks come out, you buy like your stereotypical like defensive deck, you buy like red line aggro deck, and then you buy some like disruptive deck. Um, I think that could be like a cool way of honing your skills, and then that can translate to CC heroes after, and you don't have to like make a lot of upfront investment into a hero you might not actually play at a tournament. Play at a tournament meaning like play the CC version at a tournament, but you just you learn your skills and like the three axes of which to target your local meta, uh, and you just are able to somewhat competently play a deck that fits in all three of those molds, and kind of just maybe in the 1 month leading up to the event when the meta is a little bit more solidified, there's like the pre-season ban list comes out, and you're like, all right, it looks like this deck could be pretty strong. Now I'll actually like go about acquiring the cards for the CC version, and like that's what I'm going to play.
I also when I thought you were going a different
Oh,
direction with
okay.
that. I think all that makes sense. I thought we were going to be like, well, maybe we just do like conquest style
Oh yeah, this is the next evolution.
Sage.
Yeah, for sure.
Conquest style stage where you have like 3 decks, and then they get to veto one of your 3 decks, and then play a best of 3, and the other 2 decks have to each win a game.
Yeah, Conquest would be fabulous for like a calling level tournament. I think it would be bad like locally, but yeah, for like a calling level event. We talked about this, I think, at the Worlds podcast and your stream, Fina.
No. I'm going to throw back to earlier in this pod. Would that
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
then go against what you were saying earlier about asking players to learn too many different things when we're talking about like Living Legend and such?
Yeah, it would go against this, but I think it would be cool.
Okay,
And
agree.
this is a podcast where I share my
Agree.
opinion. It's just like that tournament we were talking about later in the year of like where it's going to be Singleton Blitz and Living Legend. Like that's way too much of an ask on players, but I think it'd be really cool to do for like one tournament a year. So I think if we had like a long lead up and we knew that like, okay, there'd be another special tournament this year of like Conquest Sage, where it's going to be smaller attendance. Like we know it's something that's going to be taxing on the player to learn all this, but we're going to give you like a long lead up time. And yeah, like we just know that this is like a special tournament. We don't have high expectations of like, ooh, if this succeeds, it'll be the tournament format for every event to come kind of thing.
Yep. I think that would be fun. Obviously not the beginning of the format.
Yeah.
It's something you do after people have played for a while, so they at least, probably have 3 decks that they know how to play.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that would be a fun thing to do. And you could do finally do like a best of 3, but the matches are short enough that it's like fine.
I would also love, by the way, if one of the reasons why I would like doing something like this is it itches like a part of your brain as a deck builder, where if you had the restriction of only running in the case of Sage 2 copies of a given card across all
Like
decks,
shared card pool across your decks.
shared card pool, yeah, that's like a dynamic that I think would be so cool. Where I was talking about this with one of my locals that since the card pool has gotten decently deep now, you could actually play like three different guardians. I'm gonna stay in guardian train. Like you could literally play like a Liath deck, an Oldhim deck, and a Terra deck with completely different cards, and it'd still be like within guardians. So I think it would
I
be
mean, I
like
would be
pretty
down.
cool to have like a shared card pool concept where um as the opponent of the player, you can also be tracking the types of cards that they're playing in the first games to like know what's present in their other decks.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's very taxing mentally, but I think it would be cool, and I'm glad you agree.
I like all these kind of deck building puzzle type of things. And like
Mhm.
I think it's cool too where like the meta gets really weird where it's like, yeah, theoretically this could be the best deck, but then like it gets weird when you're trying to share cards with other decks and trying to figure and then you can kind of suss out what your opponent's playing in their other decks based on the heroes that they're presenting. Like,
Yeah.
oh well, if you're
And
playing
and
this,
you get
then
the
this has to be in that deck then, but then it's not in this, and then oh that'd be really cool.
and if there's a problem deck, then like they just ban it every time. They say no, you can't play that one of your three. You can play the other two. So now it's like a punishment. Like it's either a punishment or an advantage. If there's like one deck that's like way too strong because you're like, oh, they'll always ban this, so I can focus on my other two decks. Or hey, I'm going to not play that one because now they have no idea what to ban properly. Like you're testing like a different aspect. So there's like a so when there ends up being like overly powerful decks, the format kind of solves itself on how to
You
handle
can
that
also
deck.
be a little bit degen too. If the wizard card pool is deep enough, you could just bring triple wizard and be like, "There's no way you have AB in all your decks, so like I'll just win twice with a wizard. Like you ban one, sure, I got two more wizards."
Oh wait, if you always know they're gonna ban that one degen like broken hero, your deck is just 40 baubles. Like you didn't
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
bring
you
a
could
real
just
deck
completely
for
sack
that
it.
hero.
They'll never know. You'll just trust that they'll ban it every time.
Got him.
Yeah, they see Kano and it's just 40 potions. It's not a real deck. Okay, that was fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Are we on the
Anything
LL
else
now?
on LL?
Did we? I don't think we actually talked about LL. We just like
Who cares to talk
referenced
about
it
LL
multiple
anymore?
times.
LL
I
has been
care.
LL. All right, fine. Go ahead.
Okay, Fino, give us your LL.
It's you have the
I mean,
podium.
I
It's
already
all
talked
you.
about LL so much. Do we need to more?
All you,
Yeah,
boo.
this is what I'm saying. Prove. What do you got to talk about? You know it yourself.
Okay, I had notes. Hold on. What did I write? Okay, I agree
This
with
man
them
take
that
notes before podcasts.
yeah, okay. I was planning on actually just doing a live reaction to this on stream, and then you asked me if I wanted to be on the pod, and I was like, "Ah, damn it!" And I quickly wrote because I was like, "What did I actually talk about during this?" Okay, I agree with them that the format diversity was actually pretty good. I was actually talking about this with Jimmy afterwards because we were like listening to it together at work. Um, and he was questioning would that have changed if we had longer to actually prep the format? Like if we had longer with the format, would we have seen a consolidation of the meta? And I thought that was kind of interesting to think about. I personally didn't think that we would see too much of that. I think we would see a bit of a shift of where decks were. Like people probably wouldn't have audited to Starvo because I think Starvo sucked. I don't think Starvo was like a real pick for that event, but a lot of people were like, I have a week to figure out what I'm playing. Fuck, I guess I'll play Starvo because I know how to play that. So we probably would have seen less of that. But like the meta share just would have gotten picked up by other things. Because I think there was like a lot of good decks that you could have played at that event, and all of them are pretty reasonable. So I think that we still would have had a diverse meta. I think the thing that also would have happened is more people would have figured out Dash IO. I think Dash IO was the best deck in format, but the awareness of it wasn't high enough. But then if the awareness was high enough for it to like that was a big part of the meta, we would have seen more hate for it. And if you look at like a lot of the decks in the top 8, there was a lot of Amulet of Echoes. Like if we saw a ton of Amulet of Echoes throughout the whole room, probably would have just killed Dash. Like that's just not a real deck anymore. Among other things people could have done or played to beat that deck.
I'm suspicious of this
You're
claim that it
forgetting-
wasn't a known deck.
You're forgetting the key dynamic of LL that they just kill you before you draw the funny card, and then nothing ever mattered, or they combo through
Sure.
it because their hand is so good.
I mean, I'm gonna push back against your pushback. I was literally during my my stream, I had a number of people that like come on stream that it was literally their game that we were watching, and we're just talking about their game. And I'm spacing on who it was. I want to say it was Florin, but I think that's wrong. No, I mean, it was Jacob. He was the Starvo that was in top 8 that played against Dash.io. He literally said during the thing, and he was just like, yeah, I wasn't even aware of this deck going into the event. He top 8 of the event and wasn't aware of it.
I think
Like-
you're just exposing one person. I don't think you're talking about the community as a
That poor
whole.
guy.
You're just
Yeah.
exposing.
He's a good player. He is a good player.
One sec. Correlation of this is a person who played Starvo, the deck that you said people who had no experience on the format would play. I feel like you're doing a little bit of bias here. Of like, I think it's pretty obvious that you didn't know about Amulet of Echoes against Dash.
Caught.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. He's a good player, and he wasn't aware of it. Like, I'm pretty sure he's topped multiple big events. Like, it's not like, oh, only bad players didn't know. Like, no, like, I don't think
Sure.
it was in the zeitgeist of the community. I think teams knew.
I said it for a million years. I almost every podcast I said they got to do something about this Dio deck in LL, and no one listened to me. It was like the first deck the team built. It was like day 1 LL. Oh, here's the 120 damage Dio deck. Day 2. Here you go. Okay.
Yeah. Are you reading your
never
notes?
thought-
You got to say some words while you're reading your notes. You got to like.
Yeah.
You
I was
can't have
letting
dead
him
air,
yap.
man.
I was letting him
No,
yap.
he was
while
done
reading.
yapping. Come on, it was
Yeah,
clear
yeah,
that there was a
yeah.
conclusion.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I think LSS said that they missed that one. I don't know how they missed it. They should just listen to the podcast. I've been saying that Dio was a problem the whole time.
can't
That they needed to
listen,
ban high octane. Literally almost every episode that we talked about LL, I said they need to ban high octane. It just okay.
No. System reset.
Sure, but also just high octane.
I also put up a ban list on Twitter being like, this is what I wanted to see get hit before they
Yeah.
did the ban lists. I don't know.
I think banning high octane, in my opinion, it's like a parallel where high octane is like the card that is always going to be degenerate, whereas system reset is like a fundamentally bad card that just gets broken when it's in conjunction with other stuff. Like high octane in context of mech is just always good. Like you can slam it in almost any mech and it's going to be good. Whereas the system reset is like the specific thing to target like that version of the deck.
But I think that specific version was the only issue with mech, right?
But I think it's similar where like if you hit Bloodchief Scaletta, you also get rid of like the degen Florian nonsense. So I think it would have been better to just hit high octane for a similar logic of just like get rid of something that like is always going to cause problems in every single version of a hero, as opposed to like you're not playing system reset max, you know?
I normally agree with that logic. I think in the case of this though, I'm fine just getting rid of the thing that enables the specific combo. Because I don't think normal high octane stuff is that degen. It's like, yeah, you had your good turn. You did the funny turn. That's what the format is. But just literally like OTKing someone out of like from the moon, like I think that's the real
But
problem.
You can pretty easily OTK without system reset. It's just that system reset made it more consistent.
I find that dubious.
System reset's like actually not a good card. Like system reset's only good if you have multiple processors out and you're like cranking them to draw. Like you're pitching a blue to cast a card, so you're spending 2 cards. So you need to have multiple processors for that to actually like be profitable.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
you
I
almost
agree.
always do.
Agree, but that's like super niche. I don't know. I feel like that's what the game is kind of designed around. Like why they banned the books in Kano. 1 second. Or do
I've solved it.
you want to go
Just
first?
ban
or-
processor.
Yeah, just ban processor.
I was
Exactly.
about
Yeah.
to say that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
why
yeah,
they banned
yeah.
the books in Kano. Like the cards that are the actual problems are the ones that let you like draw the cards.
Yeah,
Or
like,
they
if you
can't ban
flicker
more
your
armory
other
deck
items,
cards.
whatever.
What if they ban armory deck cards? Where will we be in this world? It's unthinkable.
What else you got for LL?
Oh,
What
we
else you
actually
care
touched
about?
on it earlier already. It was the no one bringing their real decks to battle hardens and everything, and then it being less popular at stores. It was just like that whole conversation that we had at the beginning of the pod. So I think we
Very good.
covered everything I want to talk about.
Fair enough.
Sounds good.
Oh,
Cool.
I had one other random comment
Oh, thanks.
related to Sage. They made a comment talking about how the voting system is not going to be a balancing tool, and my just eyebrows raised to the ceiling when they said that. I was like, I don't believe that after how they use the Living Legend system to balance the game, after saying they would not use Living Legend to balance the game. So that's
Yeah, wait,
I'll believe it when I
explain-
see it.
Explain more what you think they meant by they're not going to use hero bans to balance the format. Because I what what is the point of a hero ban except for people getting rid of stuff that's degenerate that they don't like playing against?
I think you're misinterpreting what was being said. It was that like they will still do their normal bans and balance around the format. This is
Yep.
just like an extra thing that the community can be like, you know, we just don't want to play with this thing anymore. And so like they're not going to use that as a crutch for how they're going to balance the format. What they're going to do is they're going to balance the format with a ban and restricted list like they normally would, or like a ban list. And then we'll just tell decks they can't be played anymore.
Yeah, like
Just
what this is saying is we're not going to assume the community is just going to vote a deck out. Therefore, we're not going to ban cards out of that deck. We'll just leave it at this power level, assuming people are going to vote it out. That's what they're saying they're not going to do. But then the eyebrow raises, but that's not what you did in the past with the Living Legends system. I would be happy to see them change their behavior of not using this as a balancing tool, but it's well, you did one thing and you said that in the past about another system very similar to this.
And
That's all. I'm suspicious.
are they going to synergize the timing of when I forget. I'm pretty sure they already said this. I just forgot. They're not going to synergize the timing of like when votes conclude and when a ban list happens, or are they?
they haven't said anything to that, but I would assume a ban list would come after the voting concludes.
Yeah, because that seems janky. Of like I voted, I voted for a hero, and then they just like ban all the cards. Like, okay, well then, now what was the point of me voting for this hero if like you can't play Death
Yeah.
Dealer or Azalea anymore? Like, I don't need to vote
That'd be
Azalea.
kind of that'd be kind of interesting to do it the other way around. Like, oh, I was going to vote for this, but then they hit all the cards out of it. Oh, okay, I guess I won't vote for that anymore. But then it
Well,
gets
it depends
janky
on
of
when they
like, then I don't know what to vote for.
it depends on when
I
they
would,
collect the votes. If they
yeah.
sequence it such that it's a ban list, then voting collection starts. Then ban by the populace, then I think that could be cool. Or they do ban by populace, and then oh, okay, this hero's banned. We don't have to put that card on the ban list anymore because the hero's banned. Either way could work.
I would
I think what makes
expect
the most sense though is doing like I think it'd be interesting doing it that way, but the thing that makes the most sense is doing the okay, we're going to see what people vote for, have that hero temporarily leave the format from the voting, then do our BNR. Because
I just
because the
I,
whole thing is you get to vote because you played during that season. Why would it make sense for
yeah.
you to vote on something that you haven't actually played?
Well, it's tough. How are they going to ban on something they've never played? Yeah, the timing of these things are very suspicious on how you balance around it. Because like if you just ban 4 heroes and then like do a ban list, there has to be some events to know what to
Yeah,
ban.
yeah.
Like you
Like
have to
the sequence kind of has to be that you ban the cards first
you
because
ban
you're
first,
banning
and
the
then you're
cards
just
based on
yeah.
the
Well,
outcome of the season.
well, the heroes I think the intent, this is why this is the whole eyebrow raise thing too of like there's the intent in what they're actually going to do. I think the intent is the ban list is going to balance the format irregardless of if the hero is actually banned or not. And
Yeah.
because they're temporary bans, it's like okay, you can't play it for this season or whatever, but it will come back until it gets voted out multiple times, I think was the way that they were doing it. Don't quote me on that. But it's like okay, well, if Chain got voted out this season, we're still going to hit some cards out of it Chain because it's still a problem, for example. So that way when Chain comes
How does
back,
that make
it
any sense?
already has.
What is
I'm
the
not the
point
one
of
designing
hitting
the
a
system,
card if you're kicking him while he's down? He's already unplayable. Now he's giga unplayable. Like you have to
but he's going to come
burn the
back.
cards here.
But he's going to come back because it's a temporary ban.
You just ban the cards like later. Why do you have to do it now?
I never said I was in favor of this voting shenanigans. I'm saying what I think the intent is. I agree that it's silly.
No, no, no.
I would not approach it this way.
I'm actually very convinced now. You ban the cards out of the decks. Then the people have the information of okay, I've played this format. I see that Chain got read the runes and Malefic Incantation are banned, for example. Do I still think I need to vote Chain? No. Instead, the ban list didn't do anything to Oldham, Azalea, and Briar. So okay, let's those will be my 3 votes. I think you have to do the ban list of cards first.
I agree.
I don't think that's what's going to end up happening. And
Well, we'll
I think
see.
it's
Yeah,
kinda
I don't know
silly
what's
saying-
going to happen. I'm saying if I had it my way of this moment, December 9th, when we're recording, this is my opinion. Maybe December 17 or whatever, my opinion changes, but
I just think it's kind of silly to have a voting on a format that you haven't actually played yet because of the bans. Like,
No, but I'm
I
saying
don't
the-
actually know.
you can like surmise though. I think that makes it interesting. This seems very
I think I can
LSS coded. Like,
surmise.
the
I think
people
I
guess
can
it.
surmise. I'm thinking of the average person on Reddit and their ability to
But,
surmise.
but it's not supposed to be a balance tool. It's just a, hey, we don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, if
tool.
people if they ban a bunch of cards out of chain and people say, I don't care that you banned all these cards, I still don't want to play with chain, they vote out chain.
Yeah.
But it gives the people the luxury of like, oh, okay, like maybe I won't vote for this hero because they just got hit on the ban list. They're weaker. Let's see how it goes. Or if you just have a vendetta, you know, like, no, let's get them out of here. And I love that we're using chain for these examples. It's
Oh,
great.
he's gonna go.
Yeah.
for no specific reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just think we're
I'm
at a hero.
also look. I'm also pro get rid of chain. I don't like when other people play him.
Oh!
That's not named Cody. So let's get
Nice.
it out of here.
All right, stamp of approval. We know what the first vote from Runaways is going to be.
Cool. Anything else on the dev talk?
No, that was great.
Okay. Let's go to some podcast questions. These are asked by premium members of our Meta 5. If you'd like to be able to ask questions on the podcast or find other people to practice with, please join in the link below. First question here is going to be from Wardo77. What excites you most about 2026 in terms of your love of the game?
Getting to go to Japan again.
Japan.
Yeah, I think definitely just having a calling every month within a reasonable distance seems very exciting. In addition to the
Yep.
thing we talked about before of like the big, celebrational kind of special format tournament. Just like I like having one event every month. It's like a good spacing of it's not like I have to do stuff back to back weekends, but I'm always like going to be able to be engaged.
I looked at my schedule for the first half of the year, and with Riftbound, I'm like, I'm Michael Feng now. I'm just flying out like 2 to 3 weekends every single month.
Yeah.
For like the first half of the year to play both games, and I am super excited for it. I'm excited to be like, I'm going to go to a calling, and then I'm going to go to this event for Riftbound, and then it's like next month I'm going to go to a Riftbound event, a calling event, and a Riftbound event.
I'd imagine
Like,
you'd be
I'm-
super locked in, right? Like you're playing all these tournaments,
Yeah.
like you're really like you understand how to play long days because I think that's something that
That's what I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited to experience that again
Yeah.
because it's been a while. And I'm just like, okay, at least the first 4 months, I mapped it all out of what it is, and I'm just like, okay, I'm doing this for the first 4 months. Let's see how it feels because I'm excited about it.
yeah.
I'm actually really excited to have Aurora come back. That's something I'm looking forward to.
You think they're gonna errata Serenade before she comes back?
Monarch
they-
3, I'm excited for.
Ooh. I'd
Yeah.
say Dromai, but isn't that 27?
Yeah, no, that's yeah. I think so.
Unlucky.
Is set 20 in 2026?
I have no idea. I assume so.
I think they were hyping it up. I'm like, okay, let's see it.
Yeah.
But Monarch 3, I'm hoping comes in 2026.
Maybe we'll finally get Spectra Prism again.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
please.
what the game needs.
That's what the
Mhm.
game needs.
Listen, man, if
I'm not
people are going
joking,
to
I'll
complain
play it.
about me playing a 3-card 1, so be it.
I'm just excited for them to stop doing specializations and legendary cards. That's my 2026 bingo. Don't do that anymore.
We'll see. I don't know. I think the year will be fun. I'm hoping being locked in on like playing all these tournaments is gonna to level everything up, especially when you're going to calling every month. Even if you're just going like if I wasn't playing like another game, if I was just going to calling every month, that's like it's so much more reps and skill and everything else.
Yeah, it's great.
Giltic asks, will Dan be doing another update for the Arachne Metafy guide following the ban announcement? No idea. I have to ask Dan. Not an obligation for him to do so, but we'll see. To see what the ban is. Foxmane asks, I love it. Now we just get like not Flesh and Blood questions because there's nothing going on in Flesh and Blood right now
True.
as well. But Foxman asks, pick 2 of these options. They will defend you. The rest are coming to kill you. All animals retain their physical nature's animalistic capabilities, but are hellbent on killing / protecting you. The options are 50 eagles, 10 crocodiles, 3 grizzly bears, 7 water buffalo, 1 hunter with a bolt action rifle, 15 wolves, 10,000 rats, 5 silverback gorillas, and 4 lions. Pick 2 to protect you. The rest are coming at you.
My question is, how many eagles would it take to lift a 200-pound man off the ground? Because that's the only airborne animal here, so theoretically, they just lift you up, and then the rest attack.
Well, there is an airborne animal called 1 hunter with a bolt action rifle.
Yeah, but we
So
don't
how
know the
many
skill
eagles?
level of this hunter, man. How many bullets has he got? How trained is his eye?
And when does he get to shoot you? Like, have you flown away a lot, or is it like from the you like take off and he's there, popping
See,
out of the bush or
Fino,
something?
you talked about the eagles. I would actually go if I'm somehow able to commune with the eagles. I feel like the eagles would be an OP defender because they can just like fly me away to safety. Like I'm assuming there's some sort of arena or time limit where if I survive, I survive. Like if I have to physically take down all the enemies, then the eagles would not be so good because I don't think they'd be able to like take down grizzly bears or wolves
Well,
or the eagles would be very
surely you
poor
just fly
offensive
from
units.
one continent. Like,
Well,
surely you just fly over a
That's
body
what
of
I'm saying.
water.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
never
Like
get to you.
No.
Yeah.
fifty-
A grizzly bear is a 2/2. It's only going to take like 1 or 2 eagles to take down a grizzly bear.
but it doesn't. I don't even have to fight. Like surely the eagles can just fly me to safety. Like I'll wait out the grizzly bears. I'll get some bird food. The eagles will fly me to safety. Uh, I'll have the. I think the silverback gorilla would be like my protector on the ground because I think they could like if they get enraged, they could probably tank like a bullet or two. And if there's 5 of them charging at the hunter, like he can't shoot fast enough. It's bolt action. So I think I'm
Well,
going gorilla plus eagle.
my assumption is it's all of them attacking you at the same time. If it's all of them attacking you at the same time, I'm going with the 2/2 flying eagles. Like, get me out of here, flying's OP.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Like,
you choose 2 to defend. I'm choosing eagle and
wait,
silverback gorilla to defend.
oh wait, I get to choose 2. Wait, that's OP.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
like,
can I
yeah.
get the hunter also? And
Yeah.
how many eagles does it take to lift a grown man? I get him also in the air. Like that's just
if we assume he has unlimited bullets, he can literally take out everything
wait. I could
from the
literally
air.
just wait. I could just pick the hunter and sack the hunter because that's the only thing that can hit me in the air.
Yeah. So the eagles just lift both of you up, and then you just hover above everyone, and he just takes
Yeah.
everything out.
Okay. There's one thing you
I
haven't
feel like the
considered.
rats have to be OP also.
I was gonna say, yeah, you haven't considered the rats. You know, like in Super Mario, where the Goombas stack up to make the tower. What if they do like a rat tower and like start swiping at you?
Are they
They become
diseased?
the hive
Sure.
mind.
I can't. My mind can't fathom 10,000 rats. Like
It's too many.
I can't visualize what that looks like. There's too many rats.
Also, I
Was
don't
I
know
on the
if we're
pod? Go ahead.
I feel like the water animals are completely trash. Like you just be on land, and what are they doing?
Water animals.
Like crocodile and water buffalo. Don't they
Oh,
have
well,
the
water
existence
buffalo.
of water?
Water
It's just a
water
buffalo.
buffalo is just a buffalo.
I thought it was like a hippo.
No.
No, it's just a
No.
buffalo.
Really?
Furious Googling.
Why do they call
Okay,
it water?
was I on the pod the other week when you guys were doing the question of the would you rather this or this, and it was like was it chicken spawning in the car or something?
Yeah.
Was I on the pod that week?
I don't remember, but the answer was chicken spawning in the car because you just get infinite chickens.
Okay. I was gonna say also I could just not be in a get in a car ever again.
You were
There's, like,
spamming
one
about
of
riding
those-
your bike like that was a real thing you would ever do.
Man, there was something that he asked of one of these silly questions that I know I wasn't on the pod for, and I was like, oh, I actually had a good answer for it, and I can't remember what it was.
I think we all
Unlucky.
agree though. It's just Eagles, and Eagles carry you away to safety,
Yeah, Eagles and then some ground unit to clear space for the Eagles to come pick you up.
and potentially just the hunter if he has unlimited bullets.
But not even unlimited bullets. Like I actually think that the lions and gorillas move fast enough to where like he couldn't take out all of them in time, most likely.
Yeah, it depends on spatial, like where you're all at. Like, are you just like all surrounded, like staring at each other to
I'm assuming
start? Are they coming from somewhere?
It's like Hunger
or
Games. Like you have like the circle of all
Is
the
it a
landing
ring?
pods. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
get dropped on one of those pods, and then like I have my allies here, and then everyone else like coming at
Yeah.
me.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
lit. They can carry between 10 and 40 pounds.
Wait, why does that make us lit? That would mean we'd have to like lay down like this and have them like pick up all of our appendages.
No, you get strings. You get strings.
The strings were not included in this description. Man.
Wait. Do we get time to plan?
I think this
It's
is
like
more like
it's like the meme every time. Do I get to plan?
I think you get no equipment, no planning, no nothing.
No, nothing.
Pyro welcome deck style. You just roll up and then you're dropped into the gauntlet.
I think the request is next time we get questions like that, we need more information. We need like, is it in an arena? It's the same time. Like
Get more and more specific every time.
Yeah. This is already a long enough question.
You've intaked this much calories before the fight. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, how hungry are all the
What was the last time I ate?
Yeah.
How much water do I have? How hungry are the animals? Like,
yeah.
Okay. King of Mice asks, what
King of Mice,
kinds of
wait.
content is 10,000 rats? What kinds of content are missing from the FAB community? If you could direct all new content creators to a certain type of content, what would it be? My answer is pretty dismissive, so I don't know how you feel about that. Cynical, I guess, is probably the right term. It's like whatever you want to make. There's not enough people watching FAB content for it to matter what kind of content you make. Like you're not gonna make content that like pops off to like 50,000 people and 100,000 people. Like it's just there's not enough people doing that. So just like make whatever you want.
If you wanted to make something that like appeals to everyone, you make some like animated series yourself of like the flesh and blood characters, and then like that gets spawned.
That's what LSS needs to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the only way I think where it could actually like pop off beyond the entrenched players.
And then they acquire you.
What's up?
And then the LSS acquires you.
Oh, true. Yeah. Free job.
No, I talked about this actually a lot this weekend to a lot of people. They all agreed that like LSS to take like the next level into sizing of the game, they really just need to do like a Netflix series or something with the IP. Like that's what's popular right now, and that's what's been popular for a while. It's just like IP games. And like they have a great IP. They own the rights to all of the stuff that they create, all the characters that they create. People want to hear stories from them. So like if they just did some stories, got that in the mainstream, that would definitely have a massive impact into the spike. And the game is so good that it's not like a Fugazi thing where you're like, oh, here's like draw people in, and then there's like, oh, you have to engage with the product that sucks. It's like pull people in and the product's awesome. Like so like everyone you get in is I think worth a lot more than maybe in other aspects for IP games.
You show up to the movie theater, you get a promo card.
Yeah.
Oh my god, remember doing that for the Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon movies? Oh my god.
I do remember doing that for the Yu-Gi-Oh!
I got they made a mistake and gave me 2 promos at the Pokemon movie. Oh,
they made a mistake. Oh, they made a
mistake. I folksed it.
Nice.
But no, like that would give them like a pretty big boost, I think, if they did something like that.
Yeah. Very good.
Cool. Well, with that, I have kept Noah from his TFT for long enough. So long now. Let's get out of here.
Goodbye.
Gotta go play some TFT.